Welcome to the explainer. Okay, picture this. And if you're watching, you've probably experienced the exact same thing I have. It's 2026, you walk into an electronics store, or maybe you pull up a website to buy a new television, and boom, you are instantly overwhelmed. You are just completely surrounded by a tidal wave of marketing buzzwords, confusing acronyms, and flashing screens. Honestly, it's enough to make anyone just want to stick with their old TV. Which naturally leads us to the literal million-dollar question. Well, hopefully not $1 million. But is OLED actually worth the higher price? Today, we are going to clear up all that confusion. We're going to cut right through the industry jargon, pull the data directly from our comprehensive 2026 guide, and give you the exact information you need to make the absolute best choice. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with 1, decoding the acronym soup, then 2, meet the contenders. After that, 3, the head-to-head matchup, followed by 4, real-world viewing scenarios, and finally, 5, the final verdict. All right, section 1, decoding the acronym soup. We are strictly stripping away the extra noise today to focus laser-like on the 2 most popular premium display technologies. Moving right into section 2, meet the contenders. In the left corner, we have the undisputed premium darling of the home cinema world, OLED, which stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode. It sounds complex, but honestly, I just want you to think of an OLED screen as millions of tiny individual light bulbs. Because there is no central backlight shining from behind, every single pixel on an OLED display produces its own light completely independently. So when an OLED pixel needs to display black, it simply turns itself off. Completely off. No power, no light, absolute darkness. That one simple mechanical difference changes absolutely everything about how this TV looks. And in the right corner, our incredibly bright living room champion. Now, despite having a very similar sounding name, QLED, which stands for Quantum Dot Light Emitting Diode, is fundamentally different. QLED actually still relies on a traditional LED backlight shining from behind the screen, but to really boost the color and brightness, manufacturers add a layer of microscopic quantum dots. Because it relies on a backlight shining through layers, groups of LEDs have to dim together. This means a single pixel just cannot completely turn itself off the way an OLED can. Section 3, the head-to-head matchup. Okay, let's really dive into this. This is where things get super fascinating. When it comes to black levels and contrast, OLED takes the crown, hands down. Because, like we discussed, those pixels can completely turn off. OLED achieves an infinite contrast ratio and literally perfect blacks. When you're watching a dark, moody thriller or a space scene set against the starry void, OLED displays true, absolute black. There's no glowing aura around bright objects, what AV folks call blooming. On the flip side, QLED, because of its backlight, will display very, very dark grays instead of pure black. It sounds like a small technical detail, right? But in a dark room, it completely transforms the cinematic experience. But wait, here is where QLED comes swinging back with a massive advantage: brightness. Modern QLED TVs can exceed an astonishing 4,000 nits of peak brightness. That is incredibly bright. While OLED technology has definitely improved, many panels are hitting 1,500 to 2,000 nits now, QLED is still the undisputed king of brightness. If you've got large windows, sunlight pouring in, or bright office lighting, QLED has the sheer horsepower to cut right through that glare. When we weigh these features side by side, you can perfectly see the back-and-forth trade-offs between the 2 technologies. OLED totally dominates in black levels and viewing angles, meaning everyone sitting around the room gets the exact same pristine picture quality. But QLED dominates in brightness and affordability, while carrying zero risk of burn-in. It really is a true game of give and take. So the crucial point when it comes to fast-moving action, like sports or action movies, is response time. OLED pixels switch almost instantly, which means you get way less blur and super sharp motion. QLED is still excellent at motion handling, don't get me wrong, but mechanically, it's just slightly slower. Section 4, real-world viewing scenarios. Let's step away from the laboratory specs for a second. I want you to picture your own living room, your basement, or your bedroom. How do you actually watch TV? Well, if you're a cinema lover who waits until the sun goes down to watch movies, OLED is the undisputed gold standard. Its ability to create perfect blacks means every single shadow appears realistic, and the incredible contrast delivers a premium theater experience right in your home. However, if your ideal Sunday is throwing on the afternoon football game with your friends in a living room entirely flooded with daylight, QLED is your winner.
Trying to watch fast motion on a bright green field, competing with the afternoon sun? QLED's superior brightness makes it the ultimate daytime sports companion.
Now, what about the gamers? Honestly, this one is a spectacular tie. You really cannot go wrong with either. Modern models for both OLED and QLED support all the crucial gaming specs: 120Hz refresh rates, variable refresh rate, and auto low latency mode. Competitive gamers might slightly prefer OLED for its instant response times, while other gamers might prefer QLED for incredibly bright HDR graphics without ever having to worry about static health bars causing burn-in. And when we talk about budget, QLED takes the prize. Budget-conscious shoppers are going to find much better value in the entry-level and mid-range QLED models. While premium flagship TVs are expensive regardless of the technology, excellent QLEDs are available at far lower starting prices than OLEDs. Okay, we've got to address the elephant in the room: burn-in. This is when static images remain permanently visible on the screen. Let's neutrally debunk a big myth right here. OLED does not always burn in. In fact, modern OLEDs have fantastic built-in protections like pixel shift and logo detection, making burn-in pretty uncommon for normal home viewing. However, QLED has zero burn-in risk. None. Nada. So if you are someone who leaves news channels with static logos on all day, or you use your TV as a massive PC monitor with a static taskbar, QLED easily wins the durability category. But hey, don't let the burn-in conversation make you think OLEDs are fragile. Here's a number that might surprise you: 100,000. Modern OLED panels are rated to last around 100,000 hours. To put that into perspective, that equates to over a decade of heavy daily viewing. Both QLED and OLED boast exceptional longevity. Section 5. The final verdict. We've reached the end of this heavyweight bout, and based on all the data, all the testing, and all the comparisons, we can confidently declare that there is no universal best TV. There's only the best TV for your specific lifestyle, your room, and your viewing habits. So here is your ultimate cheat sheet for Team OLED. I highly recommend taking a quick screenshot of this before you head to the store. Choose OLED if your priority is the absolute best, most cinematic picture quality. If you watch movies at night, crave those perfect infinite blacks, love immersive HDR gaming, or have a wide seating arrangement where people are viewing from the sides, OLED remains the absolute benchmark. And right across the aisle, here is the perfectly balanced rival cheat sheet for Team QLED. Choose QLED if your TV lives in a bright, sunlit room and you absolutely need that maximum peak brightness. It is the smarter investment if you watch a ton of daytime sports, if you want to use the display as a giant computer monitor, if you're looking to maximize your budget, or if you simply want total peace of mind regarding burn-in. Look, both of these incredible technologies represent a massive leap forward from the televisions we were buying just a few years ago. You now have the facts, the data, and the real-world applications. So take a look around your living room, think about what you actually love to watch, and ask yourself, which technology is going to completely transform your home entertainment? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy viewing.